call me a fake fan, but I have not touched a single Transformers game. Well, besides the Angry Birds Transformers game. But despite that, we will still rank every single Studio Series Gamer Edition Transformer, and Reactivate as well. And since this is all I own from this subline, I will be ranking them on a separate tier list, just like with the Studio Series 86 line. Unfortunately, I don't really know them well enough to put them on the main tier list, and that means I will just be ranking these guys based on how they are as toys. And so, let's start with Bumblebee. And my first impressions of this was... why does he look like that? Was he really that pudgy in-game? I searched it up and no, he was not like that in-game. His actual design is proportioned very, very well, and it actually looks pretty good. But this toy sort of looks like my uncle with that beer belly. But it's not just that. Everything just looks a bit off. Maybe it's the thin legs combined with the big belly and the lack of an actual torso, or just how gappy he is. The all mode is nice though. Just like with the Bumblebee movie Cybertronian Bee, it reminds me of a computer mouse. But it's even more like a computer mouse here. And I actually like it a lot more than the Bumblebee movie Bumblebee. It is very cute and compact, and it seems so satisfying to hold. So, is this a good figure? Not at all. But that vehicle mode carries this guy and prevents him from being a bad figure. I will place him in D tier. The Studio Series Barricade had the potential to be a really cool figure. I really like that design. I think that the design is really nice. But the robot mode we end up with looks sort of strange. I just don't know what's up with those childbearing hips. I don't know, man. I know it's a pretty common trait in Transformers, but I just can't unsee it here. Surely I can't be the only one who sees that. Also, the feet are horrendous. They're just so ugly, and they don't move at all. And speaking of not moving, that's basically what this guy does. His posability is nothing. Car mode is cool though. It's menacing and sleek. I do like it. I think that this did have the potential to be a pretty decent figure. It just has flaws and flaws just piled on top of it, bringing it down by so much. I actually think this belongs in F tier. After two below average figures from the Gamer Edition line, we have our first W. The Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus is amazing. Out of all the Gamer Edition figures, this is the one that I want the most. He's just so bulky in the best way. I know he's actually too bulky in comparison to the model, but if you know me, I like them big and chunky. So in my opinion, the robot mode just looks so cool, and he looks so tough. I just love the vibes and the presence he gives off. And he also seems fun to mess around with as well. The only issue I see is just maybe the lack of paint, but that's very minor. But what's not minor is the back of that vehicle mode. But besides that, the vehicle mode is actually okay. I don't think this is as good as the Bumblebee's alt mode or the Barricade's alt mode, but it's still okay. I'm just personally not a fan of that design. But as a whole, this figure is amazing. I know he's flawed, but I just really like him. I think he belongs in S tier. I am so happy that they're re-releasing him. The Gamer Edition War For Cybertron Megatron looks really good. The robot mode looks cool, and I love the weapons he comes with. And I actually think that the robot mode design looks better than the Optimus Primes. I just think that him and Optimus Prime are a bit smaller than what I like, but regardless, I still like the look of him. Surely, there's nothing that could ruin this robot mode for me. I have no idea what Hasbro was thinking, making the knee joint like that. The knee joint is one of the most basic points of articulation, and they fumbled this so badly. It was so easy for them to fix this. This is one of the most controversial Studio Series Gamer Edition figures, and there are many people that dislike this. But for some reason, I just don't see it. Besides the knee joint, I think that everything is pretty decent. And that tank mode is nice as well. I like how geometric it is. Maybe it's because I don't know the design that well, but I just really like this guy. As an outsider looking in, I'm a big fan of the designs in both modes, and I just think that he would be pretty cool to have. But then again, let me know in the comments if you guys have any opinions about this guy. For now, I will place him either in C or B tier. Just because the knee joint is easy to fix, and I do like the look of it, he'll go in B tier for now. But yeah, if the knee was fixed, he would have been much higher. Obviously, being a Cliffjumper, this guy is exactly the same as the Bumblebee, just in a red color with a new head. And I do like this one more. I feel like it suits the mold better. So he will place just above him at the top of D tier. I did not expect to enjoy the Studio Series Gamer Edition Starscream. He's fun, strangely, unexpectedly posable, and I really like the weapons. Everything about him is just fun, and it's really good. But I am just not a fan of him visually. The chest is a bit too horizontal, and the arms are paper thin. And don't get me started on the jet mode. Yeah, I don't even need to say anything. You guys can see what's wrong here. But still, if you are able to get past the visuals, or if you're a fan of this design, then you will definitely have a lot of fun with him. I will place the Starscream in C tier. Actually, I'll place him at the end of B tier. The Studio Series Gamer Edition Sideswipe is surprisingly nice. Despite being chunky and a tad horizontal, he does pull it off, and the robot mode looks pretty good, but it's not amazing. It's decent. What's not decent is the lack of an ankle tilt. I don't know what's wrong with Gamer Edition and the lack of basic articulation. It really kills their figures. And wow, I did not expect the feet to look like that. That car mode is nice though. It is very sleek. It reminds me of the Bumblebee movie Wheeljack, which I like a lot. So overall, everything about him is just average. So I think he belongs in C tier. The Studio Series Gamer Edition Barricade was not a good figure. And so, when I found out that the Decepticon Soldier was a reuse of that, I was pretty worried. But they actually improved it a lot. And I am so happy that they did that. They got rid of the duck feet, they got rid of the thick hips, and added a lot more sculpted detail. It is surprisingly a marginal improvement. Very impressive. Despite the fact that I do prefer Barricade's alt mode, the Decepticon Soldier is just significantly better overall. So I will place him somewhere in D tier, maybe at the top of D tier. I do like that design more than the Cliffjumper Bumblebee mold. Finally, after so long, we have our first objective win of the line. The Studio Series Gamer Edition Ratchet is amazing. For those who have been watching my channel for a long time, in my 2024 Christmas video, I mentioned that I wanted to get this guy, and that was for good reason. The design in both modes is really good, and there's nothing really wrong with it. The transformation and robot seems to be very fun, and the vehicle is solid and very satisfying. I just love this guy in every aspect. And not gonna lie, I do have rose-tinted glasses. Even back then, I also had rose-tinted glasses. But the fact that they are still on after so long means something. I am just a very big fan of this figure. It is cool, interesting, and fun. If I wasn't so stingy or had more money, I would have definitely gotten him. He belongs in S tier. I'll put him behind Optimus Prime for now because I just think Optimus has more aura. The Studio Series Reactivate Bumblebee absolutely destroys the War For Cybertron mode. It is very cool. The robot mode is such a nice take on this character. It's unique, buff, and it's also really clean. It seems so fun to play with too. And on top of that, he is very big for deluxe. That is so relieving to see nowadays. And the alt mode on the other hand, it's alright. I do like it, but I just feel like there's something wrong with it. Maybe it's the proportions, but I can't really put my finger on it. But still, this is one of the few Bumblebees that I actually like. I think he belongs at the top of B tier. That Bumblebee was released in 2 different lines, where it was also released in the Reactivate line. So I might as well rank them here as well. And the Reactivate Starscream might be better. I do like the robot mode design, and I do appreciate the asymmetry that they're trying to go for. It's just that sometimes the asymmetry does look a bit jarring, and it stands out in a bad way. But the figure itself is pretty nice. I do like it as a toy. It's very solid with nothing much to talk about. But I just feel like there's something missing with this figure. I just can't put my finger on it. I do see the vision with the colors, but I'm not really a fan of it. This is especially evident in the jet mode. But besides the color, the jet is really nice too. So it's a good figure, but I just don't see myself getting him. I'll place him at the end of B tier. And I'll actually move down Starscream to the top of C tier. The Reactivate Optimus Prime is surprisingly unique for an Optimus Prime that turns into this type of truck. And the robot mode is really cool, and I am a big fan of this design. His presence and overall aura is so good. It also seems very fun and so nice to play with. I really like that truck mode too. It looks really menacing. It is a very good figure. It's cool, unique, and fun in both modes. This is definitely the best Reactivate figure, and I hope I could buy this without getting the Soundwave. Such a shame that you can only get him in a 2-pack. So this Optimus is one of my favorites in the entire line, and I think he belongs in A tier. I don't think he beats these 2 though. I really like big and thick figures. And unfortunately, the Reactivate Soundwave is the opposite. It's just not my type of figure. The proportions aren't really appealing to me. And the figure just seems so weird. He has a big, boxy torso and such skinny limbs. That vehicle mode though is really nice. And it's really clean. But maybe that's because the entire vehicle mode is his backpack. Sadly, this is definitely the worst Reactivate figure out of them all. There's just nothing that draws me to him. It's just a figure that I want to actively avoid. I will place him in E tier. Obviously, the Studio Series War For Cybertron Skywarp is exactly the same as Starscream, but in purple. Where the Bumblebee movie Skywarp was off because of all the plain grey, this one is just a bit off because there is a tiny bit more purple than what I'd like. I'm sort of nitpicking, but if you look at the legs, the Starscream has really nice colour breakup there, but Skywarp is just plain purple. But still, it's basically the same figure anyways. Though, I do like the missile launcher that he comes with. It's a lot more cooler than the gun that Starscream had. I personally prefer the Starscream, so the Skywarp will fit right behind Sideswipe. And the same thing with Thundercracker, it's just another repaint, but we actually have proper colour separation in the legs. Even though the weapon isn't as good as the others, I do like the colours on him a lot. Light blue is my favourite colour, so I do like it more than Skywarp, but the colour separation is not as good as Starscream. I do like the fact that Starscream just has more colours overall. So I will place Thundercracker in between the 2 Seekers. Here we have the first toy from the Transformers Devastation game. And I do feel sort of bad for him. He came out at around the same time as the Studio Series 86 Optimus, and a lot of people were comparing him to that, which is not fair at all, because for the price, I think it's not that bad. Sure, there are quite a few flaws with him, like how he is really hollow, and he might actually be one of the most hollow Studio Series figures. The truck mode is compromised heavily, but he does have that charm. He seems like a very fun toy to just mess around with and play with, which is the most important thing in a Transformer. He seems like a very fun best toy. if I didn't have the KO of the 86 Prime, I would have definitely picked this guy up. So even though he is not the best objectively, just the sheer fun factor will place him in high C tier. I do think he's more fun than Starscream. The Studio Series Gamer Edition Ironhide is, of course, a repaint of the Studio Series Gamer Edition Ratchet. But it's not just a repaint this time. He has a more skinnier waist, which I didn't even realize until I saw them next to each other. And I do prefer Ironhide's abdomen. But what's an even better improvement are the colors. The white on Ratchet was sort of off and it looked a bit weird. Where on the other hand, Ironhide fixes this and all the colors and separation is pretty good as well. I actually think that this is a significant improvement over Ratchet, and so I will place him at the very top of S tier. This is my favorite Studio Series Gamer Edition figure. And finally, we have these two, where they're both based off pretty old figures. And did they improve on both of them? Yes. I actually like both of them a lot. Let's start with the Ground Soldier. They removed the clear plastic, which is very good for durability and feel. And I really love the colors. I think that this color scheme is the best one yet from this mold. And also, he just seems really fun to play with. And the Seeker is also really good. I do like it less because of all the dark black and grey, which does make him look sort of plain, but that cockpit is beautiful. It looks so good. Just like with the Ground Soldier, he seems to be so fun. Also, I love their alt modes. And the orange windows look so good. I just don't like how the back window is black on the car, and the plain black color scheme on the jet is more evident here. But regardless, overall, as a set, these two are amazing, and they are definitely the best color schemes for both of their respective molds in my opinion. This belongs in A tier. This 2-pack is something I actively want to get. And so, there we have it, all Gamer Edition figures and Reactivate figures ranked. And let me know if you have any suggestions or any comments on the figures. I really do appreciate all your comments and all your support as well. And this is the final episode of this really long series. And so, here we have the final tier list. This covers every single Studio Series figure released from the start to now. Thank you guys so much for all your support and for watching every single part. I can't believe we're actually finished with this now. And yeah, I'll compile everything into one massive video and I'll try to add some extra stuff in it too. You guys will see the entire thing all together in a few months I think, but we'll see. Once again, thank you guys so much for everything. I hope you have a good day or night.